Now, we broke the news to you last night about the Labor Senator Fatima Payman, who lashed out at her own party's support for Israel, which was pretty incredible anyway, because the Albanese government's support for Israel is lukewarm at best, especially after its disgraceful vote at the United Nations supporting the possibility of a Palestinian state ahead of a peace deal. The Albanese Labor government has only gone backwards on Israel. Anyway, it hasn't been pro-Palestinian enough for Senator Payman, apparently, and she made these highly provocative statements.
My conscience has been uneasy for far too long, and I must call this out for what it is. This is a genocide, and we need to stop pretending otherwise. From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free.
Yeah, that was late yesterday, and the reaction was pretty dramatic.
This is going to further undermine and test social cohesion. The Prime Minister really has to step up today and deal with this, and we expect him to demonstrate that there are consequences for Senator Payman.
Senator Payman ended her speech saying, from the river to the sea, we will be free. You've criticised others who've used the term, but your own senator has used it. Is it appropriate?
No, it's not. What's appropriate is a two-state solution. A two-state solution where both Israelis and Palestinians have the right to live in security, in peace and in prosperity. It is not in the interests of either Israelis or Palestinians to advocate there just be one state. That is a forerunner of enormous conflict and grief.
The Coalition pushed this issue all the way to the Senate floor today, forcing a vote on a motion condemning the use of this phrase, from the river to the sea. The one I told you way back in October last year was a catch cry, much loved by Hamas, calling for the elimination of Israel.
From the river to the sea has been accepted and even said by members of the government. Such chants and phrases have no place in the type of political debate we should wish to see in our country.
The phrase from the river to the sea is not consistent with a two-state solution. And it is that solution which is needed for peace and security of Palestinians and Israelis alike. And we use our voice to advocate for a humanitarian ceasefire, for the release of hostages, for a two-state solution, including by using our vote at the United Nations to add international momentum for a two-state solution.
Yeah, Labor supported the Coalition motion, but tellingly, Senator Payman didn't turn up for the vote. And Greens, who voted against the motion, backing in this phrase of from the river to the sea, well, they wore Palestinian scarves, which makes a mockery of the ruling yesterday against Pauline Hanson for wearing an Israel scarf. The issue has hardly been resolved. Senator Payman, despite this stance, remains on a joint parliamentary defence and foreign affairs committee, and the Coalition is calling for Albanese to dump her from that sensitive position. I mean, how can we have a Labor senator on that committee when she disagrees with Labor policy on such an important foreign policy issue? Former Foreign Minister Alexander Downer says Labor should take even stronger action.
She should, of course, be expelled from the Labor Party because this slogan, from the river to the sea, is a slogan that means the destruction, the total destruction of the state of Israel.
I'll have that full interview with Alexander Downer later in the program. Sadly, the divisions of the Middle East have turned up on our streets, they've turned up in our universities, and now they're playing out in our Senate. What the nation is crying out for on this issue is leadership from the Prime Minister, but he's busy trying to sit on the fence and be all things to all people. That won't cut it. Just because he supports a two-state solution doesn't mean he can find a solution that supports two positions. He needs to clearly articulate what is right and call out what is wrong.